What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but we are back for yet another episode of The Cutting Board, and today I'm joined by John Hanson. Why don't you say what's up?
What's up? Let's talk about Mario Kart.
Oh, I am in no shortage of Nintendo talk because the Switch 2 got revealed a few weeks back. We're here talking about games, more
1 week
specifically,
back.
one game, Mario
1 week.
Kart. Yeah, well,
Yep.
if the rumor mill suggests anything, we got a lot of other things to talk about. But Mario Kart 9 is the subject matter today, and consider this our wish list, expectations, predictions video for this highly anticipated title. And do we have the what do you call it? We lay it to rest, the funeral for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe served us for over 8 years. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know. It could still keep going.
Stop.
It's backwards compatible on the
Oh,
Switch too.
no. We don't need it. We got this shiny new object here. I want to first ask a few questions because you wrote an article that inspired this type of video. And first off, let's start with the name. Are we calling this Mario Kart 9, or are we doing the thing that most tech companies do and say 9 doesn't exist? This is Mario Kart X. We did get Tour, so that's kind of like, do we count that as
Yeah.
9? Like, what are we going here?
It really just depends on how Nintendo views Tour. If they view Tour as a mainline Mario Kart, then they'll definitely go with like Mario Kart 10 or Mario Kart X. That is something I could see them doing. I think I just prefer them going with 9 to keep things simple, but who knows?
Who knows? Now, what do you think? Because we've seen the trailer, we analyzed every single frame. It's normally when it comes to Mario Kart, there's a big spin to each and every entry. And there were rumors that this Mario Kart might have something completely different that we've never seen before. What do you think this big spin is?
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I see people talk about it, I just keep going back and forth on everything. Like, there's people like, "Oh, this is going to be an open world game like Forza Horizon," and I just don't see that working in Mario Kart. Like, where everything you do is open world. I don't necessarily want that in Mario Kart. I want a menu to just get me to the races I want to play in right away. I don't want to have to drive across a country to get to where I want to go. There's also people talking about the fuel thing because at the end of what they showed, there's like a Yoshi's restaurant, Yoshi's Diner, and in a little drive-through area, there's a pickup that's glowing, but it doesn't look like an item box or anything. It's very something very specific, and people are talking about the side of Mario's cart uh, seems to have like a fuel gauge. So people think like you go through that and it like gives you a boost or something, but that doesn't seem like something that's like a big twist to me.
No.
Um, so yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't have to be something that's totally groundbreaking by any means. Like the gliding and underwater stuff from Mario Kart 7 that returned in 8, it will probably come back here. The anti-grav stuff in Mario Kart 8 wasn't necessarily groundbreaking because as you're playing, yeah, you're going through all these loops and everything, but when you're behind the wheel, you don't really notice that. To you, it's kind of still just a straight shot. Um, so it could be something as simple as like an open world game or a fuel add-on kind of thing. But I'm not sure if that's like a giant thing to get excited about necessarily.
Heading into this, I was like, I need me some double dash. Clearly, it looks like those dreams are, no pun intended, those dreams are dashed. May I propose the Wonder Flower as something that, hey, if that object looks like what we think it is, maybe you change the course as you're going through it, like Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's a more recent thing. Or if we're playing off my X theory here, what does X remind you of? Maybe I'm reading into the tea leaves here too much.
Crossover.
There you go. Great minds think alike. We're getting
Mhm.
25 players. You gotta pad out this roster. Why not make it the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate style of everybody's here? You can do it again. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. For me personally, I don't want that. I want some characters to cross over. I want Link back. I want the Splatoon, Inklings, Animal Crossing. Throw them in there. Give me Kirby. Okay, cool. I want this roster to be dominated by Mario characters still.
Okay.
Because in Mario Kart 8, as big as that roster was, it had a lot of people, but before the booster course add-ons, a lot of that was dominated by baby versions and the
Yeah.
Koopalings, which
Mhm.
makes up like 16, 17 characters, it feels like. And then you add in the different variants of Mario and uh the pink gold peach. Like these are the
Yeah.
same characters just with a different skin. So what I want is a Mario roster filled with Mario characters, enemies. Give me a Goomba to race
Yeah.
around with. Spike, Ninja. We saw Pauline in the little reveal. She's there. That's awesome. Give me more Donkey Kong and Wario characters. Bring in
Yeah.
Captain Syrup from the Wario Land games. There's a callback.
Ooh.
Uh, just stuff like that would be amazing to me. And then you could still have those different variants. Just have them be skins. Like, give me a Raccoon Mario skin. Give me a Super Mario 64 skin. I would love that. Uh,
Ah.
we've got the rework for the new design for Donkey Kong where it's much closer to his movie, but then you can also like go back to the Donkey Kong that everyone has known from the last I don't know 30 years. Uh yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want from the Mario Kart roster. But yeah, I'm still down for like bringing in Link and all these other characters. So you could keep that cross in there, but I don't want it to be the main focus.
So I'm gonna take this race and steer it off the road here. You brought up skins. I think that should definitely be the move. I'm more of I want substance out of my roster. I don't want here's like rose gold Peach and silver Mario. That great. Thanks. I really appreciate that one. But hear me out.
Having those as a skin option is great.
That would
Having
be
them as
great.
a character that takes up spot on the roster, that's bad.
Two different metrics there, of course. What if, and I know Nintendo will not do this because, it doesn't strike me as a thing they do. We're gonna go Mario Kart X. It's the 10th one, great. Woo, everyone's happy. It lives on for as long as 8 Deluxe has. 8 years, 9 years, who knows? Turn it into a live service game. Do it. Pull the plug. Let's just bite the bullet. Make it a live service game where players get added constantly to the game. Skins are a thing. You can buy them with the coins you collect on the track. I assume multiplayer is going to be a big part of this game, much like other Switch 2 titles potentially down the road. I know I am very much against a lot of people doing these live service games. But when you talk about Mario Kart, sports games, stuff like that, it's like how much iteration can you really do between them? And I know they're going to ride this one out until the wheels fall off. Look at all these connections I'm making. But it goes the same for Madden. It goes the same for even sometimes Assassin's Creed. If you're just going to make the same game over and over again, just release this edition and be like, here is next year's pack or whatever have you. What do we think about them doing that?
Uh, I mean, I do think Mario Kart 9 will have long legs. This is going to be running for a long time. Maybe not as long as 8, because 8 technically started in 2012
That
with
was
the
Wii
first.
U? Or.
Yeah, with the Wii U, or 2013. It's been a long time that we've been playing Mario Kart 8, and then we just got the deluxe version and then the booster course. So they kind of did what you're asking for there, where they just kept adding on to it. 9 will be the Mario Kart game for the Switch 2, and of course we don't know how long it's going to last right now. But I could see a scenario where they just keep I hope they keep adding tracks and characters onto it. I don't want a thing where it's Animal Crossing where we're all playing it, we're all loving it, and then they're like, okay, that's our last update. We'll see you in Mario Kart will return in 10 years or
Yeah.
something like that. I also don't want to wait as long as we did to get the booster course pass for
Hmm.
Deluxe. Because the Switch came out in 2017, 8 Deluxe came out a month later, and then we didn't get the booster course pass until what, 22? I think
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
So that was a long wait to get new content in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of new stuff, a lot of new tracks, characters, carts. I hope battle mode gets more love this time around. Yeah, I could see a lot of stuff happening, but when you're talking about the live service nature of keeping this game alive, that is something Nintendo has to double down on.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just live service and Nintendo. I don't see that in the same sentence working to a point. But to kind of touch on your open world thing real quick, like a Forza Horizon, it's I don't know. Like, I think it could work in a weird sense where it's like it doesn't have to be this sprawling open world like what is that? It's not Burnout, is it? Or is it Need for Speed?
Burnout Paradise?
Burnout Paradise, where you're going across the United States. I don't think it needs to be
Oh,
that.
that's the crew. That's
The crew. So, give me like biomes, like different things. Like you go to Super Mario Odyssey, where you kind of go to this snow world. You go to the floating islands. You go to the desert. I feel as if I'm not trying to apply it to all Switch 2 titles, but how far back and how limited the original Switch was, and how we haven't gotten a new Mario Kart in forever. I'm gonna count Deluxe as the OG one just because. I feel as if there's so much room to just kind of say, like, hey, this is what we've been really cooking up for this very long time. This explains the long cycle it's been. So I would like to see how they handle that. There's also this weird playtest. I know that was for a completely different thing, like a Minecraft, whatever type of deal. But multiplayer is going to be big. And I feel if you want to populate a world, multiplayer, open hub world, show off your cart, you can customize it. I don't know. But as far as gas goes, if I have to play a 24 player lobby and I'm in first and a blue shell hits me and I run out of gas, I'm retiring from Nintendo games forever. I cannot pick up my Switch remotes anymore.
I don't think it will necessarily be a thing where your car only runs on gas. I think it'll be a turbo kind of thing
Like the
where the
coins,
gas,
right?
uh, maybe, but like as you turbo and boost off, that meter goes down and can run out, and then you're just stuck racing like normal. Um, but I don't know. That's just a guess. For open world, if there is an open world mechanic put into this game, I want it to be a single player only thing, like Diddy Kong Racing or Crash Team
Ooh.
Racing. That's what I would prefer. Because, like I said, I don't want to drive all over just to get to a race that I want to race. I want a menu so I can just quickly go to that. But if I could just, if there's a campaign story in here that could also explain why it took so long to make this, like, I'm down with that. Like, if you want to make a big world in a campaign, and we do the thing that you're just talking about where you drive to different biomes and everything, and then you're doing races to get through that story, I'm all for that. That is something I want to do. Um, and then it doesn't have to be as big as a Forza Horizon,
Yeah.
which I don't think we expect it to be that big. It's going to be smaller than that, but making Nintendo is so good at making, outside of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they're much better at making smaller enclosures because they
Yeah.
put so much detail into everything.
Oh,
Breath of
yeah.
the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I love those games so much, but that giant open world, there are moments where it's
Nothing's
kind of
there.
empty, where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, my big thing is I'm climbing a mountain right now. And that's the big story because I want to see what's on the other side. That stuff is great, but for a racing game, that's not what I want.
Now, my final proposition for Mario Kart 9 or X or whatever we're going to call it is something from Double Dash. Let's bring in a class system like they do in Mario Tennis. They did it in Double Dash where there's a brawler type character where you like your boost thing is based off of how much damage you're doing to other carts. Let's do a finesse thing where like a character like Yoshi is very big on tricks. That's how you get your boost. Or someone like Mario who gathers up these fuel tanks or something else, and that's your speed character. A class-based system might add to like the meta of the game a little bit and kind of force you to really be strategic of who you pick, what course, what wheels, what engine, or whatever you want to add. I think that'd be pretty fun, but again, execution, you really gotta nail that part.
I like that idea. That's something I hadn't really thought of. If they do that, I hope they cut out the cart customization thing where you have to select the cart, the wheels, and the glider.
Yeah, it's
like
too
just
much.
just make standard carts at that point, kind of like in Double Dash, where the big decision was the characters you chose and how heavy they were. Like if you chose Bowser, you only had this section of carts that you could do. If you chose the baby characters, you could do every cart, but some of them wouldn't be necessarily best for those characters. So I like that idea. Yeah, I really like that idea.
Well, in closing, do you have any more propositions here for Mario Kart, or it's more or less a waiting game now? We got that direct in a few months' time, and it can't come any sooner.
Yeah, that's it's a waiting game, and that's the thing is like we probably won't know anything about it until that direct. Even if there is a surprise direct in February, we're not going to hear about Mario Kart there. So yeah, my big things, the characters, the battle mode coming back, and just new tracks.
Yeah.
We always get retro tracks in every Mario Kart release. This time, because we got such a big selection of retro tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'm completely fine with there being no retro tracks this time. Like, just give me... It's been long enough. We could, let's call it 40 tracks that are just completely brand new. Like, that's what I want.
That's it. That's all we ask
and for. And then add on to them over time.
Yeah, obviously. And then you can drop the retro tracks later down the line in the booster pack or whatever. I just want new stuff right away. You know, odds are this is going to be the game we're playing, like, hardcore in the first few months of the Switch's life. If 3D Mario, whatever else pending. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Mario Kart is just... That's what it is. It's Mario Kart. Everyone loves it. Everyone's going to play it. This is why you get a Nintendo Switch 2. And I can't wait for it. But if you want to talk more about Mario Kart, or if you have any speculation as to what this game is, what it could possibly be, why don't you join our Discord and talk more there? Or if you're new to Game Sandwich, consider subscribing for all the latest gaming news, rumors, and reviews. But as of right now, I've been Kalo, joined by John Hansen, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.